We are now convening our public session committee meetings, starting with the Committee on Operations, which I will chair, a public meeting of the Committee on Capital Planning, Execution, and Asset Management, which will be chaired by Vice Chair Linford, will follow. We will conclude the public portion of today's meeting with the public board meeting. Today's public meetings are also being broadcast live on the Port Authority website for those interested in viewing today's proceedings on the Internet. We'll start the public session on the Committee on Operations, which is being held in public session in its entirety. At this point, we ask the Board Secretary to advise those present of the composition of this committee and any Commissioner recusals.
The committee is composed of Commissioner O'Toole as the committee chair, Commissioner Linford as the committee vice chair, and Commissioners Bagger, LaBarbera, and McCabe. All committee members are present at today's meeting, and there are no recusals on the update on Stewart International Airport.
Thank you, Board Secretary. I now call on the Director of Aviation, Huntley Lawrence, to present an item concerning New York Stewart International Airport.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'd like to update you on air service at New York Stewart International Airport and to seek your approval to enter into an agreement for airport operator services there. In light of Norwegian's cessation of service on September 14th, we're taking a number of actions to retain and increase air service to New York Stewart. It is important first that we acknowledge the success of Norwegian and what they achieved at Stewart for over 2 years. At its peak, the airline operated roughly 40 flights per week to and from destinations in Europe, including Belfast, Shannon, Dublin, Bergen, and Edinburgh. This new service drew an additional 600,000 passengers from 2017 through 2019, more than doubling our volume of 2016 passengers. Utilization of the Stewart Express bus to Manhattan and the Port Authority bus terminal proved the viability of Stewart Airport as a low-cost alternative for the New York, New Jersey metropolitan region. More importantly, 50% of Norwegian's passengers were originating from or destined to counties that neighbor Stewart. The data proves that the potential for New York Stewart as a viable airport in the Hudson Valley, and it reveals demand for international service that is distinct and separate from the downstate metropolitan region. Looking forward, our forecast calls for modest domestic air travel growth over the next several years. American, Allegiant, Delta, and JetBlue continue to provide regularly scheduled services to multiple destinations in the U.S., and we are also in the midst of construction of a new state-of-the-art customs hall anticipated to open in the summer of 2020. This will provide us with another desirable asset for potential international carriers, giving us a true international terminal. As we face the immediate reality of reduced service resulting from Norwegian's departure, we are redoubling our efforts to attract new air carriers and further promote New York Stewart. To that end, we have developed a 5-point action plan as follows. We're going to modernize Stewart's air carrier incentive program to attract and retain new carriers and service to new markets. We're leveraging partnerships with regional and state economic development agencies and tourism and trade organizations to promote the airport as a driver of economic activity. We're hiring an experienced marketing firm to increase Stewart's visibility in both the international marketplace and in the Hudson Valley region and to strengthen the airport's brand. We're developing a joint marketing strategy with key businesses and attractions in the Hudson Valley region to drive traffic through Stewart. And lastly, we're entering into an agreement with a new best-in-class airport operator, including an expanded scope for the building of a modern concession program and collaboration with the Port Authority in attracting new air service to Stewart Airport. The existing operations and maintenance contract at Stewart is expiring. The proposed new operator services agreement was procured via a competitive RFP process, and the selected entity is the operator of Paris airports with local partners and brings international experience and an extensive network of contacts in the international airline community. This contract will be for a 10-year term with one 5-year option and a 180-day extension period. Staff recommends an award to Future Stewart Partners, LLC, which is comprised of airports, the existing operations and maintenance provider, and Group ADP, operator of Paris airports, including Charles de Gaulle, Avports would continue to provide best practice in managing day-to-day operations and maintenance at the airport, but Group ADP is involved in the management and ownership of over 20 airports around the world and has received multiple Best Airport Awards from Airports Council International. In the proposed agreement, Group ADP would provide the staff and expertise to aggressively market New York Stewart to new carriers and manage the concession program at the New York Stewart Terminal. This will include efforts to bring new and more diverse concessions offerings than what exists today. Commissioners, I request that you advance this item to the full board for approval.
Thank you. Any comments or questions for the director? Motion, please.
So moved. Second.
Here, a second. Okay, hearing none, the motion's passed, and that concludes the meeting on Committee on Operations. Thank you.